Hi, everyone. Welcome to Naturally Immune for Life. I hope you're all doing well. And first of all, let me apologize for last week's video. I seem like a grumpy cat. I was so tired. And when I had to redo that video 3 times and be here for 3 more hours, when I had other things I would have had to do, I was a grumpy cat. But I apologize. And I thank you for joining me today. Today is going to be a very enlightening post about primarily natural oral immune therapy, because the only treatment I chose to highlight, well, some of the other treatments in this paper are pretty safe. The only one I actually chose to highlight is the colostrum-based therapy from Imuron. And Imuron is a leader in colostrum-based therapies who are now, and I can't remember since what year, but they are now a publicly traded company. So they seem to have taken the ball and run with it. And one of the few, aside from Seisei Murai in Japan, they are one of the few who are actually mainstreaming this type of therapy into the marketplace. So that is why I am choosing to highlight the colostrum-based oral immune therapy, even though it's been modified. They're still the leader in colostrum-based oral immune therapy, but I probably wouldn't call it natural oral immune therapy since it has been modified. But anyway, oral immune therapy, a promising new approach to treating inflammatory bowel disease. And I might change the title because you're going to see this goes way beyond inflammatory bowel disease. And if you read the actual paper, which is in the library and is a link as a source, you will see it extends to the immune system. It extends to metabolic syndrome. It extends to the liver. And if I can remember correctly, it also extends to the muscular skeletal system. So it is pretty large scope here. So understanding IBD and its immune-driven mechanisms. Inflammatory bowel disease, including Crohn's and colitis, is a chronic condition caused by an abnormal interaction between the immune system, the gut environment, and genetic susceptibility. While the gut is the primary site of inflammation, the systemic immune response also plays a central role, leading to inflammation that can spread beyond the digestive tract. And that is a key point to remember, that we're talking about chronic inflammation here. And we're also, this is also going to highlight the benefits of oral therapy as compared to targeting the systemic immune system. While the gut is the primary site of inflammation, the systemic immune response also plays a central role, leading to inflammation that can spread beyond the digestive tract. Current treatments often suppress the immune system to reduce inflammation, but this strategy increases the risk of infections in certain cancers. It also increases the risk of tolerance. The pathogenesis of IBD involves more than just immune activation. Research shows that gut permeability, bacterial translocation, and elevated lipopolysaccharide (LPS) levels are common in patients with immune-mediated disorders. However, intestinal barrier loss alone is not enough to initiate disease. There must be a triggering immune response. This makes the gut immune system an attractive target for therapies aimed at resetting immune balance without the risks of systemic immune suppression. So the role of autophagy and macrophages in inflammatory bowel disease. Autophagy, a cellular recycling process, is vital for maintaining gut health. In the intestines, it helps break down harmful bacteria and regulates immune responses. I believe that in a healthy person, that's supposed to happen every 2 weeks. Types of autophagy, such as macroautophagy and xenophagy, play critical roles in antimicrobial defense. Genome-wide association studies have linked autophagy-related genes to inflammatory bowel disease, suggesting that dysfunctional autophagy contributes to chronic inflammation. So I did not see those genome-wide association studies. So I don't know how accurate that would be, but it is a condition that is exponentially increasing. Additionally, macrophages, key immune cells found in the gut, are constantly replenished from blood monocytes, unlike those in most other tissues. These intestinal macrophages help regulate regulatory T cells, also known as TREGs, making them important players in maintaining immune balance. When this balance is disrupted due to faulty autophagy or heightened activation via toll-like receptors, it can contribute to IBD development. So oral immune therapy, modulating the immune system through the gut. Oral immune therapy is an emerging strategy that harnesses the gut's natural ability to influence the entire immune system. By introducing non-absorbable antigens or immune modulating agents through the digestive tract, it stimulates the gut immune system to send calming signals to the rest of the body. This process can promote immune tolerance through TREGs without the need for widespread immune suppression. Unlike traditional drugs, oral immune therapy does not rely on systemic absorption. Instead, it works locally at the gut mucosa level, reducing inflammation via mechanisms such as the promotion of TREGs, CD4 and CD25 in FOXP3 plus cells, reduction of pro-inflammatory cytokines like TNF-A, modulation of antigen-presenting cells and macrophages, and interaction with the microbiota to regulate immune responses. So the case study for this oral immune therapy agent, and I do not know where this is in the clinical trials picture because I haven't looked for a long time. But this paper is when these studies were first being initiated. One promising oral immune therapy agent is IMM124E, a non-absorbable IgG-enriched colostrum-derived product from enterotoxigenic E. coli. It contains anti-LPS antibodies, and you do know that some of this E. coli out there is genetically modified. It contains anti-LPS antibodies and sphingolipid adjuvants. And by the way, they are in the environment because this type of colostrum is now being given to animals who graze. So it's out there. Genetically modified E. coli is out there. It contains anti-LPS antibodies and glycosphingolipid adjuvants that stimulate the gut immune system without entering the bloodstream. In animal studies, oral administration of IMM-124E significantly improved inflammatory conditions. In the OB mouse model of diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. IMM-124E decreased serum TNF-A levels, increased TREG and natural killer T cell populations, improved the liver enzyme levels and glucose metabolism. In human open label trials involving patients with type 2 diabetes and biopsy confirmed non-alcoholic fatty liver. No. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's fatty liver. NASH. Increased serum GLP-1 and adiponectin, boosted TREGs, CD25 and FOXP3, improved glucose control, lipid levels, and liver enzymes, and it showed no adverse events or immune reactions to bovine antibodies. Further, in a mouse model of TNBS-induced colitis, IM-124E increased levels of IL-10, a key anti-inflammatory cytokine. It promoted TREG activity and improved colon health by reducing histological damage and inflammation scores. These studies highlight how oral immune therapy with IMM-124E can safely alter systemic immunity by acting locally on the gut, offering both preventive and therapeutic benefits with minimal side effects. Conclusion: a safer path forward in IBD treatment. Oral immune therapy represents a groundbreaking approach to managing IBD and other immune-related conditions. Rather than suppressing the entire immune system, it modulates immune function through the gut, reducing harmful inflammation while preserving the body's ability to fight infection. With the added benefit of non-invasive delivery, low cost, minimal toxicity, and a favorable safety profile, oral immune therapy offers an exciting and practical alternative to traditional immunosuppressive treatments. As more clinical research emerges, therapies like IMF-124E may soon become standard care for IBD and other autoimmune diseases, providing hope for millions of patients worldwide. So one important thing to note in there, one of the drugs in this particular paper was MAB drugs, monoclonal antibodies, and I believe those are usually given by injection. So perhaps, I can't remember exactly, but perhaps this is where they discovered that monoclonal antibody drugs weren't working as well as they hoped because they are an injection, and colostrum is actually a polyclonal antibody. And it I didn't say it as clearly as it should have been said, but the systemic treatments greatly increase your chance of malignancy, your risk of malignancy. So why give a drug that's just going to end up causing cancer? Especially when some people are going to be on these drugs from a young age. And they usually quit taking them. It doesn't put them in remission, and then it greatly increases the risk of cancer. So I softened that a little bit, but that is the conclusion of this particular paper. So the gut microbiome and its role in IBD. The gut microbiome helps train the immune system. It supports digestion and it maintains the intestinal barrier. Healthy gut bacteria, such as bacteroids and firmicutes, promote anti-inflammatory responses by acting on immune cells like dendritic cells and T cells. They help prevent gut inflammation and maintain tolerance to food and harmless microbes. And that's probably what I'm going to cover next is tolerance. In people with inflammatory bowel disease, the gut microbiome becomes unbalanced, a condition called dysbiosis. This imbalance can increase gut permeability, allowing harmful bacterial products like LPS to cross the gut barrier. These products trigger inflammation by stimulating immune cells to release cytokines like TNF-A and IL-8. Some bacteria, like Bacillus, supports anti-inflammatory signals through IL-10, while others, like segmented filamentous bacteria, promote inflammation by activating Th17 cells. Pathogenic E. coli strains resistant to immune defenses are often found in Crohn's disease. They're also often found in AIDS patients. So overall, the microbiome can either calm or provoke the immune system. When this balance is disrupted, a chronic inflammation may result. Treatments like fecal microbiota transplantation aim to restore a healthy gut ecosystem and reduce IBD symptoms by rebalancing the microbial environment. So that was another successful approach, and that's why I added it to this post. So more info: milk, a postnatal imprinting system stabilizing FOXP3 expression and regulatory T cell differentiation, which you just read. Accumulating evidence underlines that milk is a complex signaling and epigenetic imprinting network that promotes stable FOXP3 expression and long-lasting TREG differentiation. Crucial postnatal events preventing atopic and autoimmune diseases. And that would be another time when the gut immune system is skewed and has to be restored to homeostasis. So you can see this is a paper that packs quite a punch in more ways than one, in more avenues than one, and hopefully will get you thinking. And it was groundbreaking for me to help further elucidate the benefits of natural oral immune therapy. So there is tolerance can also be called checkpoint blockade toxicity. And this is another immune response that requires interferon, the production of interferon for intracellular clearance of microorganisms and debris. So that's probably why I'll be moving on to tolerance and how some drugs can cause auto tolerance. And that wasn't covered in this extensively regarding interferon, but that's important. And it would keep you stuck, I believe, in a Th1 immune response. And that would not be good. Because that is the point. You have to be able to maintain homeostasis in light of digestive assaults, environmental assaults, and systemic assaults. Okay, everyone, I think that's it. And this is a jewel of a paper. And it's in the library, and it's in the source, and it's also in the About page. So I hope you find this helpful. And one more thing I wanted to add, the Saccharomyces boulardii is not a colonizer. It just, it's there to reverse a condition. It will not hang around. So if that's something you want to try, be aware of that. And something else. Oh, I don't know. This new site is progressing so well from point A to B to C. I'm not sure if I'm going to add medicinal foods for quite some time, because without a healthy gut, you can't utilize the full benefits of medicinal foods, and medicinal foods will not take the place of proper immune and gut development. So at this point, it will likely just muddy the picture. So I'm probably not going to re-add those wonderful stories for quite some time, because I'm getting an opportunity now to go back to the beginning and put this story together in a much better way so more people can understand it. And again, I am not just talking about IBD here. We are talking about chronic inflammation, some of the threats, and as you heard, this can extend to myriads of conditions, including allergies and autoimmune, and including food intolerances. Okay, everyone. Thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.